What is the don't say gay law? Let's be specific about that, just in case anybody tries to call us on this.
So it was initially no teaching on gender identity and sexual orientation in K through 3.
Which is super reasonable.
It is super reasonable. And then it caused this massive uproar, and the legislator said, all right, we're just going to double down. Now it's K through 12.
Ooh.
So they're saying no gender identity, no sexual orientation, no explicit, kind of pornographic materials in K through 12. We're taking it totally off the table. And look, there is a reasonable argument to be made to say, okay, elementary school, I get it. Maybe a little bit in middle school, maybe in high school, there's more latitude. Like, okay, that's a reasonable consideration. But it's also eminently reasonable to just say, we're taking it all off the table.
And just teach people.
And just teach people what they need to know to be successful in life.
I'm sorry, but I had good teachers growing up. I had quite a few that I remember. I have a science teacher from 7th grade that to this day I think about fondly. He was a brilliant man, and he taught me about wonder. I think about that guy. I've also had a gang of fucking morons who taught me, and I don't want that gang of morons teaching my children about biological sex or gender or homosexuality or heterosexuality or oral sex or anal sex. I don't want nothing.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I don't want you teaching them anything about any of those things. I don't want you telling them that you're a Zer. I don't want you pretending that you're Foxkin. I don't want any of that shit. If you're teaching history, I want you to teach what happened in 1943. I want you to teach math. This is how you count. This is how you divide. This is algebra. This is what you're supposed to be doing. That's what you're hired for. If you're a drag queen and you're not teaching how to be a drag queen, that's it.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to be. If somebody wants to take drag queen courses, all for you.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should be reading stories to little kids. It just seems fucking bizarre. It's one more factor that kid has to deal with.
Totally. Yeah.
For what reason?
For what reason? And so
inclusiveness?
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. It's
like,
bullshit, come on, man. Because it's not inclusive of many other perspectives, a traditional perspective, a religious perspective, a general kind of conservative perspective.
Also, how much are you screening these drag queens?
Well, not enough. Yeah.
What is the odds that someone who's a man who likes to dress in drag has other problems? I'm not accusing all of them of having other problems. I'm sure some of them are just lovely people who like to wear women's clothes. Have at it.
Totally.
Have a good time. However, there's a possibility that you might be a kinky freak.
Yeah.
There's a real possibility if you're putting fake eyelashes on and 10-inch heels and you're calling yourself Miss Wanda and you're wearing fishnets and you tuck your dick into your butthole region and tape it down or whatever they do, it's a possibility you might be out of your mind.
And if you're doing a drag show at a bar in the Castro, and that's a kind of subculture where they're all adults, they're all opting in, have a good time, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Like, totally fine. But it's like bringing that into the public schools with government funding, with other people's kids. That's when I think reasonable people say no.
Yeah, reasonable people should say no, and the people that don't say no think that they're going to be attacked for being bigoted if they do. But there's so many people that are like on the fence and scared and don't know what to do, and their kids are coming home with these wacky ideas, and they're like, what the f do I do? What do I do? And then if you try to go to the school board meetings, you get labeled a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
This is insanity. Like you're just enforcing indoctrination, and you're just making sure that I comply. And that is a slippery slope, kids, because you might be getting your way right now doing this, and you might think that you should be able to get your way. But what if someone else gets into office? What if there's a war? What if there's chaos? What if we have a military dictatorship? You've already established the rules. No one's going to give you those laws back. You've already set it so that the state and the government and the institutions can dictate personal behavior and how people are allowed to communicate. If you've done that, you've fucked up, because now you've given power to the people that are in control. And if you pay any attention to donors, you realize that the same donors donate to both people. So what have you done? You've empowered the deep state to control your lives and make it easier to steal your money.
Yeah, and the economics of it is also perilous, right? All of these systems are functionally insolvent, right?
Yeah.
The university system, our federal budget,
The federal budget is wild.
It's just crazy. You don't have to be a math PhD to understand that this is not sustainable over the long term. And so, look, as a political person, what I always do is try to figure out what rifts and possibilities are opening in society, and how can I use those to advance the political objectives that I have. That's how it works. And so when there's the kind of Hamas attacks and the universities reveal themselves to be crazy, or it's the capture of K through 12 schools and the gender ideology is going radical, all of these problems also provide opportunities for correction, for reforms, for decentralizing some of these institutions. And I think we're now teetering on a few different vectors towards what could be a radical restructuring of our society. You have this confrontation between Trump and Biden, but really between Trump and the entire state apparatus that's trying to jail him and prevent him from running for president. You have a military budget and a federal budget more broadly that is running, $1 trillion deficits as far as the eye can see. You have a higher education system that is now, I think, $1.7 trillion in student debt that the government has absorbed that's ready to blow up at any time.